select Myles Garrett.
Well, Myles, we're happy that you're Cleveland Browns. How do you feel?
There he is. First play, first sack. Getting chased, he got hit, knocked out. Myles Garrett did it, Doug. Around the horn he came. He got hit in the pocket, he's going down. They got him. Myles Garrett got him.
Lock the in and let's get a start right here.
Sacked all the way back at the 25-yard line. It's Myles Garrett. Allen back to pass. Here comes Garrett after him. They're going to hit him and they're going to get him and sack him. Myles Garrett gets in there and makes the play. Back to pass. Myles Garrett's got him and he knocks him down. He's back to pass. Up in the pocket and Myles Garrett hit him and sacked him.
Yeah! Let's go! Y'all know the mission. Want to know every week? Want to know every day? Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Come on!
It's blocked. Myles Garrett blocked it.
Other fans here, the best fans of the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen,
With the first
I'd like to get you guys acclimated to this broadcast.
Do you intend to use all four?
And we're going to start it out by saying today is a day that will go down in infamy. Today, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns and their mentality. If you want to talk about a team that has gone through adversity, has created a persona, and I hate to even say this, but a persona of losing, a team that hasn't really won in almost 20 years. The fans have suffered, the players have suffered, and who is the winners and losing in all of this? Today has shown a bright light on the mindset of the Cleveland Brown organization. If you go back to an interview that G. Bush had with Shedeur Sanders, the Hall of Fame player, a coach of two organizations that were in peril and had brought him to national levels of fame and brought them from the depths of losing to become a organization of winning mentality. Shedeur Sanders said about Myles Garrett that he is one in a lifetime player. I like to call him a floating lineman because he plays all the positions and it plays them at a high level. This young man is one of those players that you just don't run across. It's once in a lifetime player. It's like Bo Jackson, like Shedeur Sanders, like Barry Sanders. Once in a lifetime player. You think about the Cleveland Brown organization and their mentality, you have to be be honest with yourself. What is the mentality? Their mentality, in my opinion, is a mentality of losing. They can have something great, and they seem to always find a way to lose. They had, and I think in this situation with Myles Garrett being traded to the LA Rams, is a situation that started back after the season when they were looking for a head coach. And they started interviewing various coaches, and they interviewed the defensive coordinator who had arguably been almost chosen to be a foregone conclusion that he would be the next head coach because he had the best and the number one rated defense in the NFL, led by Myles Garrett. And Shorts interviewed for the job, and it went so left that he didn't shake hands and leave amicably. He walked out of the Cleveland Browns organization. And that sent a message. And it appears that message was well received by Myles Garrett because he didn't once pick up the phone to talk to the new head coach. And I'm sure that the only conversations that he has had with the management was that he didn't no longer want to play for the Cleveland Browns, even though he loved the Cleveland Browns. It was his home, he thought, until he found out that his voice did not matter. So why did I put Shedeur Sanders in this conversation? And that's because us Shedeur Sanders fans have to be honest with ourselves. We have to say that despite what we've seen, despite Shedeur Sanders being the first rookie quarterback to win their first game, despite being the first quarterback in 20 years to rack up over 360 yards in a game, despite having ticket sales jump from $6 to filling up stadiums, as the media likes to put it, 5th round draft pick, which we all who are true Shedeur Sanders fans know was something else behind that. But today is not Shedeur Sanders' day. Today is Myles Garrett and his realization that the Cleveland Browns just have a losing mentality. And the only winners in this team, and look all around and you'll see who the winners are. And the winners are not the fans. Winners are not the players. The winners are the Mary Kays, are the Rizzos, are the Jason Lloyds. It's all the J's. The media. The infamous Cleveland Brown media. They are the winners. Because now they have something else to talk about. They don't talk about winning. So what do they talk about? talk about, oh yeah, I knew Myles Garrett should have left a long time ago. Oh, I never had faith in him. He never played on the special teams. He never did the third down and one rushing. He never did anything but what he wanted to do. So negativity wins. We also come to realize, and it's been broadcast on for the whole world to see now, who is the puppet masters. And I've got on the screen Todd Monken. And it's kind of interesting because I think that he's going to explain exactly who the puppet masters are. So, unfortunately for the players, it ain't going to matter your skill level. It doesn't matter that you were the last winning thing on the team. There's something else involved. And there's someone and some people involved that has the ultimate controls of leverage. So let's sit back and listen to exactly what Todd Monken has to say about the Myles Garrett as well as the profound quarterback battle between Derek Watson and Shedeur Sanders.
Your remaining OTAs?
We intend to use the 3. We're probably on Friday going to make it a competition day and a little bit fun on Friday, heading into the final week with mandatory minicamp. So I would doubt that on Friday that we'll end up using that day. We'll use it for video and haven't had a chance to address the team, but then we'll have a competition day.
How eager were the guys to get out here and participate in this? I know this is an annual event for the Browns, but the group that you have now, does it send some excitement for them to get out here someday on the course?
I haven't really seen them yet. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think they're excited. You'd have to ask them.
So Todd, do you, at some point you said you'd love to have your quarterback order prior to training camp. Are you getting there? Can you see the end of this thing, or will you go into training camp not knowing who one is?
Again, as I've said, I think I anticipate there still being competition. That doesn't mean that the reps will be equal. That's the easiest way to put it. I mean, I think we're in a good place right now with our quarterback room. All of the guys that are in there are working hard, and I like the level of talent that we have in there. But, you know, the next 6 days will go a long way into how we go into fall camp. And we'll have in our minds, I think, where we're at every position. Every position you have a form of a depth chart in your mind, but and maybe it won't be locked in, but we'll certainly the reps will have to get distributed differently once we get to camp.
Can you make that public?
I don't know that yet. I don't anticipate that being the case, but we could.
There's a lot of talk because it's June 1st and the contract about Myles. A lot of speculation there. Have you been told that he's going to be on the team? Do you expect him to be here when we get to the season?
Well, he's not like any other player. I mean, I'm never told who's going to be on the team, who's not going to be on the team. If that's a question, I mean, every day we evaluate the roster. Andrew evaluates the roster. Management evaluates the roster. And like I said, he's no different than any other player we've got. So I don't know how to respond to that based on, because it's really no different today than it's been for the last however many months I've been the head coach.
Have you been assured he'll be here June 9th?
No, I wasn't assured that when I took the job. I was never assured of anything when I took the job, other than once I signed my contract and whatever my contract said, that's what I was assured. And no matter what any of us coaches sign up for, is we show up every day and we coach the guys that are in the building like we've done since we've been here. That hasn't changed.
So What did he just say? He just said he's not sure. Nothing has changed since he's been there. He doesn't know anything. All he does is manage what is in front of him and does the best he can to get players ready to the best he can and let the powers that be actually manage the team. So when you hear the narrative of, oh, it's a new sheriff in town and he's going to play the best player, believe it or not, this whole Myles Garrett thing has happened long before Todd Monken was even in the building. When they decided to not give the one person who knew the team best, who had been there and was a winning coach, they decided not to give him that opportunity because in their macro decision making, figured that, oh, we're building a new stadium and sports just doesn't fit in. They wasn't taking into account that the people that mattered were listening, the players. The people that matter, the fans, are listening. And we are not at all blind to the fact that the Cleveland Browns organization are addicted to losing. Those of us who are not originally Cleveland Brown fans, and if it wasn't for certain people, me, I'll talk about myself. I don't include other people, let them speak for themselves. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Shedeur Sanders. I feel just like Shedeur's dad did last year. He said, I don't give a darn about the Cleveland Browns, but what I do care about is the one person that I have put my time, energy, resources in, his son, Shedeur Sanders. He's not my son, but I've watched the young man since he was 10 years old. And anybody who has followed the young man's career knew that he never got it even. He got a raw deal during the draft. We all saw it. And we saw the media defend the raw deal. We saw the media not even listen to the players who said that the head coach was backdooring situations, allowing offensive coordinators to call the plays. We watched the media switch the narrative or try to switch the narrative. And the sad thing is that the true Cleveland Brown fans don't have a choice. It's all they listen to. It's all they've ever seen. But here's the good thing. With the influx of Shedeur Sanders' light, all this tomfoolery is live and in color for the entire world to see. And with the infusion of social media, there's no hiding the narrative anymore. We can see it, we can talk about it, and if we missed it, we can replay it. So let's go back to what Todd Monken in today's press conference had to talk about.
Could you tell us how you use those GoPro cameras with the quarterback?
Oh, so really there's an audio piece to it that you want to hear what the quarterback is verbalizing, because you're not actually in the huddle, what they're saying in the huddle, and then what they're saying at the line of scrimmage, and then how loud are they saying it? We talk about all the time of as if you're on the road. So there's an audio piece to that, which is great, but you don't need the camera for the audio piece. You can have a damn microphone. The video piece is really where are they looking within reason, where you can see their eyes, where they start when they start off, when they get up to the line of scrimmage. Are they using the same mechanics from a body language standpoint, whether they start left to right or right to left defensively? Is there anything they're giving away with where they've got their eyes in terms of what you can tell from there? And then what are they seeing? What did they actually see? It's the closest thing you're going to get. Audio is a big piece, and then the video piece of, what they're actually seeing or looking at.
You used it before?
Used it before. Obviously the advantage is being able to use when you get the video and the audio, but that does take time. How do you piece it together for the player? How do you organize it from when you're re-looking at the tape? All right, from point one or point A, from like, okay, you got the call, the huddle, on the field, and then how the play develops. So it's been really cool. It's been a good learning tool for our guys.
I want to ask you about the whole operation for your first time through. You feel good about the installation, how you structured things, if you had to make any changes just with the whole...
Not really. Haven't really made any changes. I mean, we'll be, tomorrow will be install 7, and then Wednesday will be install 8, and then Thursday will be 7 and 8, and anything else we want to get worked on. And then mini camp will be everything, and maybe some other things we want to get worked on, but it's been fine. Now, we've already installed as we went through phase 2, so we're just repeating that.
Todd, going back to the quarterbacks, we've been out there for two OTAs, and the first time it just seemed like last Wednesday was almost the mirror reverse of what we saw the previous Wednesday. Has that been sort of the plan? Is every other day kind of alternate?
Pretty much.
Shedeur and Deshaun.
Doesn't always work exactly every other day, but we've tried as best we can to give those guys equal reps, equal opportunities with the groups, be it the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, whatever that might be, to certainly give ourselves the best chance to evaluate their play within reason. Now, every day's a little bit different in terms of situational football. Some days you're throwing it more than others. Some days are a little bit more red zones. Not every day's equal in terms of their opportunities, but you try as best you can to spread out who they're doing it with.
In this final week of OTAs, do you think some of the rookies will maybe be worked into the first team a little bit more so that they can have some of that experience during minicamp, or are they maybe not ready for that yet?
Well, again, I anticipate the rookies being more integrated. They have already. If you're referring to the O-line, we'll work that way. The wideouts have already been integrated in that. And then, E-Man's been dinged up a little bit, so that hasn't come into play. But JJ's been with the defense at linebacker, so it's really the O-line guys of working them and getting them up to speed.
Make it a good one, Tony. Okay, real good. At some point, Browns are going to have to make a decision on whether to participate in the supplemental draft for Sorsby, Brendan Sorsby. My question to you is, have you been kept up to date on the organization's research of that player?
Not at all. I mean, it's not even come across my desk. I don't think we're in a position to want to go down that road. That's my opinion. That's not Andrew's. And that, I like the quarterbacks that we have. I think that's a slippery slope when you go down that, irrespective of talent, right? In terms of the situation he's put himself in. Like we all know what that is. He put himself in that situation. And we've seen in other sports with players that have been banned for life from playing in professional sports. I think that's a slippery slope to go down that road. Again, that's a question for Andrew and for management. But from my end of it, kind of a tough angle to go down that road and think that that's going to be your franchise quarterback if he's ever eligible to even play in the NFL.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And like I said, the winners. The last question by Tony Grossi. Would you even consider looking at a quarterback who has arguably a good game according to him, but he has a gambling problem? That's that's what I'm saying about the loser mentality. The Cleveland Brown organization has created a sphere of not winning, of not seeing winners, and almost like they build winners to give to somebody else. It's laughable in the sense that the only winners in this whole entire conversation is the media, and they win because they invoke so much negative energy. That's all they talk about. Today is Myles Garrett being traded. How can we stop that? Or is there an effort to appease and to fix this situation? Or are we just going to sit here and allow this travesty? Because Myles Garrett is not an ordinary player. He's not somebody, well, I can get one or two of him. It's not like he's on a downward spiral of his career. Last year, he got the sack record of all times. Of all time. Last year. Not 2 years ago. Not 5 years ago. Last year, he got that record. And yet you're going to prove a point by saying, well, we don't really need you, Myles. We can figure it out without you. We found you, so we'll find another just like you. No. How long has it been since you had the last sack leader? How long has that been? Because when we sit up there and talk about winning and losing, we talk about a team that has no record in winning. They have no record in winning. All they have is records in losing. So it's kind of like a kid that goes to school and they can have great fun on the playground, but when you put them in front of a book, they absolutely are not interested. But you have that one kid who can play in the playground, but when he gets in front of a book, he explodes. Um, you know, it's just sad that we are going through another another year of possible disappointment because the Cleveland Brown organization has fumbled the ball. And, you know, it's, you know, when you talk about the Reggie Whites, the Julius Peppers, the Chris Dolmans, and, you know, these guys are not just people you find in a regular draft. These people are years and years apart in finding these great defensive players or football players in general. I don't want to leave you with a negative taste in your mouth. I want you to be optimistic because I am an optimistic person. But I don't want you to be blinded by the truth. And don't put blindfolds on. Because unfortunately, the Browns have proven that no matter what you see, even though the winningest quarterback in recent years is a gift of being a fifth-round draft pick who was projected to be a first and second-round draft pick. Regardless of the narrative that was created, those of us who have watched the young man play seen greatness in him. We have seen that a defensive lineman, floating lineman, that's what I call him, that transcended the position and was one of the most shut down defensive players in the NFL in recent years, and arguably the greatest defensive lineman in recent times. They just let him go. So I don't want you to be delusioned about what you see and what actually happens, because we all know in a equal world who would play, who should be on the Cleveland Browns, regardless. Myles Garrett should be there. The last winning quarterback who has broke records, who has brought money to the team, who has no downside to keeping him and starting him as a quarterback who's young. I don't want you to be delusioned in thinking that, well, he automatically has the job, because Cleveland Browns have proven that they don't deal with logic. I hate to even say it, but that's the truth. I mean, a person that has physical impairments, a person who has mental blocks, as far as quitting. I've watched Derek literally quit in the middle of a game that was close to, that it was decided by one or two plays, walk off the field because they didn't want to do something, costing them a timeout, costing them the opportunity to try to win. I've watched that happen. So if you're going to give that a chance over a young prospect who was the last winning thing that you had in your organization, don't be surprised. It's all I'm saying. And before I go, and I would like to appreciate all you guys for hanging around. If you like the live, just show your support by giving me a like. Share it if you can. I appreciate it. I'm trying not to offend anyone. I'm just trying to point out what I see. The facts is that Myles Garrett is a one of a kind. Facts is that they let a one-of-a-kind player go. The facts is that players are human, and any coach will tell you that who runs the team is the players. Without the players trying to win and being behind what's going on, you don't have a winning team. And once you have taken the player's head out of the game, you no longer have that player. But I want to leave you with the words of Andrew Barry and the way that he is trying to spin or trying to answer the questions about Myles Garrett.
We wanted today really to be about the Browns Foundation and everything that we're doing, the good work that we're doing there. Not naive that there's a lot in the social media sphere regarding Myles. Nothing is final at this point. We are in discussions of a potential transaction, including him. I'll have a lot more to say about it once it is final, if it does become final. And I'll discuss the details at that point. But we are in negotiations. We're hopeful that we close something here in the next several hours. But nothing's final right yet. So like I said, I'll have an update for you guys maybe as soon as tomorrow when there's resolution. We wanted today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's stream. I hope that you've been entertained. I hope that it kind of, I'm not trying to upset you. I just want you to see what the Cleveland Browns are showing us. And I don't want to put my opinion into it. I want to go by the words that they're talking, the words that they're saying. And I appreciate you guys that have watched my live. I hope that you continue to watch because I don't just like to talk. I like to kind of show and cut through the maze of what they're trying to project to you. And hopefully the fans won't be misled because there's nothing worse than to feel like that you're being used. And I think that sometimes the players get used for nefarious reasons, knowing that they are not going to play. Sometimes I feel that the fans get used, knowing that they're not going to see who they're paying their money to see. And ultimately, the sport of football is about the fans. And I like to cut through the maze of jargon that we hear, trying to tell us what we can and shouldn't see and not hear, and all the malarkey. So I appreciate you guys staying with us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And God bless you. And keep Jesus King.